خیلی از ما فکر نمی‌کنیم وقتی با یه فرد ناشناس بریم سر قرار ممکنه چه اتفاقی برامون بیفته. چون اون خوشبینیه رو به دست آوردیم و افرادی که باشون روبرو شدیم آدمای بدی نبودن، ولی طی روز آدمایی هستن که مثل شما خوششانس نبودن. مثل دختری که امروز میخوایم بریم حرفاشو بشنویم و ادعا میکنه توسط دارک فروخته شده. باورش سخته نه؟ پس امروز با من همراه باش.
You allege that on July 11th, 2017, you were kidnapped in Milan, Italy.
Yes.
Take me through that day. You got email instructions on where to go. Who was the email from and what did the instructions say?
It was from Andre, but both the Paris and Milan was on an Andre email. It stated that he might not be able to come to the front of the studio before, so if that's the case, then I should just walk in.
بچه یه توضیح راجع به ویدیو بدم. ببین من دقیق نمیدونم چون ویدیو رو از وسط در واقع ترجمه کردم و منم دیدم. چیزی که متوجه شدم یه دختریه که حالا برای قرار کاری یا فکر کنم یه قرار با دوستش به یه استودیو میره و اتفاقات اونجاها پیش میاد. در واقع برای قرار کاری یا استودیو میره. بعد ما داریم ادامه این داستان رو میشنویم و چه اتفاقایی سرش اومده و اصلا چجوری به اونجایی میرسه که قرار تو دارک بفروشن. من وسط ویدیو زیاد صحبت نمیکنم، اینکه زیاد حرف بزنم احساس کنم شما رو هم خسته میکنه، ولی خب اگه نکته چیزی باشه که مهم باشه و بدونم شاید اطلاعاتی باشه که به دردتون بخوره حتما وسطش پاز میکنم بهتون راجبش توضیح میدم.
When you get to the location, you get out of the cab.
I tried to open the door, but it was locked. So I think that didn't match what the email said about just walk in. So again, I called the contact number that was on the email. So I said, where's Andrew? And he said, Andrew doesn't get here till 9, but I'm in the studio, so just come in. But then I said, the door's locked. And then he said, no, you've obviously got the wrong door. So then I walked down a couple of doors, and there was like a smaller building, so which was number 7, and it said the company name on the door.
Okay, tell me what happens then.
I had my suitcase in one hand and my purse and my phone in the other hand. I opened the door, put my luggage in, and I went round the corner, and then still silence, and I didn't see anyone, so I didn't really know where to go. So I was about to put my hand onto the door to open it to check if anyone's there, and that's when I was attacked from behind. So a guy puts his hand around my neck and his other hand with a glove on my mouth and my nose. I was struggling to breathe, I couldn't breathe at all. I was trying to get his finger off my nose so I could at least catch a breath. Eventually I managed to. Another guy ran round to the front. He had a black mask on with 2 separate eye holes and a mouth. And he was holding a syringe to my arm. So I was trying to fight back, trying to like kick about, but I couldn't fight off 2 grown men, so they managed to tackle me to the ground, and then eventually the syringe went into me, and then that's when I lost consciousness.
And show me on your arm where the syringe went in.
It was here.
Right in here.
شما تو جای
How long did it take for you
سورنگش
to go unconscious?
هستش.
Straight away.
Did you ever find out what they used?
Ketamine.
And how do you know that?
Lucas, the one posing as Andre, told me it was ketamine while I was being held, but then it was found in my hair sample that the police take.
Lucas is Andre.
Yes.
کتامین در واقع دارو تزریقیه که باعث بیهوشی میشه. برای دارو خیلی قوی بیهوشی برای جراحیاست معمولا و معمولا برای بیهوشی بلند مدت استفاده میشه. من فکر کنم اول اون دستمال گذاشت دهنش واسه بیهوشش کنه، ولی انگار با دارویی که بیهوشی سنگینی بهش بده سعی کرده این کارو انجام بده.
But at the time I only knew him as Andre. I found out his name through the police reports.
Okay. And you think that there were how
بعدم
many
که
men
رفته پیشش
total
اسمش چیز دیگه بوده.
on this whole trip?
From what Lucas had led me to believe, there was 2 Romanians that took me, then Lucas, then the driver, and then Lucas's boss, CK.
2 Romanians, Lucas,
The driver, and the boss, CK.
And you don't think that's true?
I don't think that's true now.
So you think Lucas and Michael were the only 2 involved?
Oh yeah,
And they're brothers?
yes.
What's your next conscious awareness?
I woke up and I was in like a duffel bag, a tape on my mouth, My wrists were handcuffed and so were my ankles.
احساس کنم زیاد اطلاعات نداره راجع به شخصیتی که دزدیدنش. حالا شاید چون پرونده حل شده این اطلاعاتو داره ولی خب خیلی دقیق داره. معمولا اگه کسی تو این شرایط قرار بگیره تو دزدیده شدن اینقدر حافظش خوب یاری نمیکنه. معمولا اون ترسه داره بهش فشار میاره اصلا به اونجا نمیرسه که به این چیزا فکر کنه. و خب آدم به خودش اولین چیزی که فکر کنه چجوری اصلا قرار نجات پیدا کنه. اینکه اصلا اسم اونا رو حفظ کنه و اینا عجیب.
And I didn't have my clothes that I came into the studio in. I just had like a bodysuit and socks. So they'd taken off my jeans, my trainers, my jacket and my hat.
Okay. So you're in a duffel bag, zipped up?
Zipped up and I had a little hole to breathe from.
This is a recreation that the police did. So was that the position they put you in?
Yes, I was curled up, yeah.
Where is the duffel bag?
It was in a moving car, in the boot.
You were in the trunk.
Yeah. So I managed to peel the tape off my mouth and I was sticking my hands through the little hole that they had left me and I was like saying like, driver, where are we? What's happening? I was just trying to get the attention of the driver and it took a while before the car actually pulled over.
What happened when the car stopped?
Two masked men came round the back of the car, opened the boot, literally didn't say anything and put my hands back in the bag, put the tape still over my mouth again and just secured me more, zipped up the bag, shut the boot and then carried on driving.
How long before you stopped the next time?
About 20 minutes, not long. Both came round to the back, but this time they took the handcuffs off and put them behind my back.
Okay, so you're off again?
Mm-hmm.
How long this time?
Again, about 20 minutes. But this time when they stopped, the guy was unmasked and he got into the boot with me.
What did you think when you saw his face?
He was obviously foreign.
How do you know?
Just looks, doesn't look English. And then he was able to speak to me, but he spoke in brief English, but not very good, and he had an accent. I was trying to talk to him and say, like, what's happening, where are we going? And he kept saying, nobody hurt you. You know when someone can't speak well English, but they're still trying? He's like, nobody hurt you, I promise, don't worry, like trying to reassure me. And I was like, well, who's that driving? And then he was like, I don't know. And I was like, where are we going? I don't know. He always claimed not to know where we were going.
What did they tell you about why you'd been kidnapped?
And then it took some time before he came up to me and he sat on the single bed beside me.
Who came up and sat by you?
The boss.
Did you recognize him?
I didn't recognize him at first, no.
Did you recognize his voice?
No.
Why did he tell you you'd been kidnapped?
Well, he said, I don't know if you remember, but I briefly met you in Paris.
He was Andre.
He said he was Andre, yeah. Like he was the one that I met.
But you didn't recognize him?
No, he had sunglasses on at Paris airport.
So
I just didn't connect the faces.
But once he told you, did you remember?
Once he told me, yeah.
What does he say?
He says, I've just seen your advert, you're online for sale. And then I say, what do you mean for sale? And then he explains about sex trafficking. He said, you've been kidnapped for sex trafficking.
Was there a price on your head?
It was 300,000 starting bid, US dollars.
What were these pictures here?
So that was obviously taken when I was drugged at the studio. That was not when I was conscious because I don't remember the photos being taken.
Okay. And then the second one with the thing on your stomach there, what was that?
That was the Black Death logo, and then underneath it was emails of how you can contact Black Death to buy me.
Who did they tell you Black Death was?
A massive criminal organization that doesn't just do kidnapping, it does all crimes like drug, hitmen.
Had you ever heard of them before?
No.
What do you think as you look at those pictures?
When he first showed me, I didn't even want to look at them too much because like just seeing like my eyes and like my hands are all weird. It's horrible to look at.
Yeah.
Like the discoloring on my neck and.
نفسی چی شد دیگه در واقع اون کاغذی که روشه اول اینکه اصلا راجع به یه آرمی توضیح داد که حالا توی کشور خودشون یه جورایی اون آرم در واقع یه گروه گنگستر مانندن و خب خیلی از کارهای خلافکاری‌های مختلف رو انجام میدن این گروه و در واقع داشت میگفت آقا این آرم گروه رو زدن یه ایمیل و یه شماره هم داخل این عکسه که روی دختره گذاشتن و از این دختره چند تا عکس گرفتن شماره و ایمیل خورده بود که تماس بگیرن که آره دیگه خلاصه قیمتش $300,000 بود. خیلی‌ها. منتها برای کسایی که مریضن خب عادیه.
They actually took my hair out. I had my hair up in a cap.
And these were the photos that they posted on the website you ultimately saw?
Yes.
What did they tell you about sex trafficking? Did they tell you how this works?
but he said there'd been a mistake because basically in Paris he said he aborted the shoot because he had checked my Instagram and seen that pictures of me with my son and pictures of me pregnant. So the Romanians showed him that and he looked down on my Instagram and said, no, this cannot happen. It's against Black Death's rules to sell pregnant people, young mothers, people with STIs or a terminal illness.
That's their rules.
So that's why he said he aborted the shoot in Paris. That is the rules because it devalues.
اولی که خودش یه مادره، این که هیچی پشمام. خودم نمیدونستم و دوم گروه خلافکار محترم قانون خودشونو دارن. یعنی طبق قانونشون به زنایی که سنشون بالا و زنایی که حاملن دست نمیزنن و یه جوری اصلا نمیفروشنشون.
The females.
It wasn't like a moral code, you're just not worth it.
No, it's just you're not worth. Like he was saying, virgins sell for the most, and it's between 14 to 20-year-olds, so you're at the high end of the spectrum.
So did he tell you how much girls typically go for?
They start at anything between 300,000, but virgins will go up for over $1 million because they're the most valued, and the younger you are, the better as well.
So they got the wrong woman. Are they going to let you go?
That's what I said. I said, so if you got the wrong person, why can't I just go? And then he said it's not that simple, despite the young mother rule, because they had already asked the clients, do you care that she's a young mother? And they had said no. They were, Black Death were willing to sell me, but he said he's strongly against that. So I would have to pay my way out before the auction, which takes place on Sunday.
You have to buy yourself?
Yes.
Before Sunday?
Yes.
چون طبق قانونشون نبود، خودشون بهش پیشنهاد دادن که تو میتونی قیمت خودتو بدی و خودت بخری.
Police say they've not been able to trace any type of crime like this back to a group called Black Death. What is your response to that?
Well, that's why I'd been so calm when I went back to the UK, because an investigator came into my apartment and he'd said, we know the whole truth behind the investigation, so you don't have to be as fearful as you are now when you go back to the UK. And that really did calm me down, because that whole 3 weeks I was thinking, I'm still in Milan, like people are going to get me from that organisation. They must know that I'm still being kept here.
Lawyers for the alleged captor say the entire case could be a sham and invented as a publicity stunt. What's your reaction to that?
I think that's because the way the papers portray the story, and also because of the way I look. So Michael has obviously seen the papers doubt my story, and therefore his lawyer is going to find anything they can to stop him from getting extradited. But the evidence is so strong against both of them that him lying is not going to go to his advantage.
یه جورایی جالب بود و یه جورایی جالب نبود. قسمت جالب داستانی بود که خب اگرم حرفی زده شد تو برنامه، اون بنده خدا جوابش یه جورایی داد و عقیده‌اش به این بود که خب شاید واقعا تو دروغ بگی و خب واقعا نمیشه نه اینو رد کرد نه اینو تایید کرد، چون دنیایی که توش هستیم واقعا دنیای کثیفی. نمیدونم اینو قضاوتشو میسپارم به شما. ویدیو باحالی بود. حتما نظر خودتون داخل کامنت برای من بنویسید، بگید نظرتون راجع به این دختر چیه، به نظرتون حرفش واقعی بود نبود. لایک و سابسکرایب مثل همیشه یاد نره. خیلی وقت نبودم، احتیاج دارم به حمایتاتون. این چنل جدید منه، پس سابسکرایب بزن، یه کامنت هم بذار ثابت نپره. بازم دمت گرم که تا آخرین ویدیو همراه من بودی. دیگه حرف نمیمونه. فعلا.